助けてほしいかナナミ。心を燃やせ。限界を超えろ。
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of More Than Headlines, your weekly anime news podcast powered by Audio Technica, made by Australians for global citizens. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White, aka the Salt and Pepper Senpai, and joining me in the studio, my trusted co-host and rival, the light to my L, Courtney Smith. How the bloody hell are ya?
I'm good. I am so excited today, Brendan, because I'm getting an anime tattoo.
Ooh, yeah. And I guess, sort of peeking behind the curtain, I don't know if you want to announce it. I know who it is, but I figure I'd let you do the honors because it's your tattoo, your flesh that's getting immortalized.
So, Lum from Urusei Yatsura, I have a really, really cute image of her from the remake. And I'm so excited. So definitely follow me on the socials to see the end result of this amazing piece of art.
I cannot wait to see it. And anytime you do show it to people, I do expect like a darling every time you show it. That has to be like in the rules. Anytime that anyone says, can I see your Lum tattoo? You're like, yeah, sure, darling. And just whip her out. Because she's the best. The original and the remake, both equally as fantastic. And yes, we have been harping on about Urusei Yatsura on and off here for the last 11 episodes now. But good times keep rolling and it's worth checking out. So head on over to High Dive to give that a peek. But yeah, anime tattoos are just the best. And we're pretty fortunate that there is so many very, very talented artists, not only in our respective cities of Sydney and Melbourne, but all around the world. So anyone that is looking for recommendations, reach out to Courtney and myself, and I'm sure we can put you in contact with some fantastic artists out there to get your favorite characters immortalized as well. But Courtney, what do you reckon? Shall we jump into the news?
Let's read the news.
You like the news?
Yeah, okay. Headline number 1. A new Hatsune Miku anime film has been announced for a January 2025 release in Japan. The film is based on the world of Project Sakai, Colorful Stage, the rhythm game featuring Hatsune Miku. The film will be a completely original work, though, with the new Hatsune Miku, who will meet the characters from Project Sakai.
The film announcement also came with a trailer and key visual, and in addition, Hatsune Miku has announced her first ever Australian tour this year. The tour will be coming to Brisbane on November 18, Sydney on November 20, Melbourne on November 22, and Perth on November 26.
Now, Courtney, full disclosure, I'm not sure if this is going to make me sound very old and sort of past it or, not hip as the kids might say. I don't know. Do the kids still say hip? I don't know. Not woke enough, not yeet enough. Who knows? All of the words I can think of. I'm showing my age right now. But I only discovered who/what Hatsune was maybe a few weeks ago. Like, I see her everywhere. I see her all over the world, all over the internet, all at every event and convention I go to. And I'm just like, who is this character? What does she do? And I was very much clueless for years. And it got to the point where I was too far down the story and the cluelessness that I couldn't just put my hand up and say, hey, Courtney, who is this? Or like, hey, friend, who is this? So I just went along happily, ignorant, and just thinking, yeah, I know, they think I know. And for anyone that is like I was only for a matter of, up until a few weeks ago, Hatsune actually began as a piece of Vocaloid software way back in 2007, originally developed by Krypton Future Media. And they also then created the famous character created alongside said software to be their mascot. So she's been around now for 17 years. And I've always seen her, but I've just never really known where the connection was or where she popped in. Because I'm like, I've never seen she hasn't popped up in a big anime I know, or like I just see merchandise and figures everywhere. And only until a few weeks ago, I'm like, who the bloody hell is Hatsune? And I jumped on the internet, did some research, and now I'm more aware of who she is and what she does.
So it's actually funny that you mentioned this, because when I first started getting into anime, I want to say like 2011 was when I was seriously understanding anime for the first time. And I was on Tumblr, of course, being a 16-year-old girl. And when you go into like the anime tag in Tumblr, there is so much Hatsune Miku, right? Like you're like, who is this character? So 16-year-old me frantically just Googling like, what anime is Hatsune Miku from? And obviously nothing comes up. So I asked my friend who got me into anime, I was like, who is this green-haired goddess? And she was like, oh, she's actually a Vocaloid. And so I got into this like rabbit hole of Vocaloid, and I never really followed it judiciously, but I enjoyed some of the music from Hatsune Miku specifically. So yeah, don't worry. I think it's a universal experience to kind of discover Miku-chan.
Well, that's good. I feel a lot less idiotic now, knowing that I wasn't the only one where they were like, who? Yeah, like you said, perfect words. Like, who is this green-haired goddess? Like, who is this character rocking these fantastic twin tails that I've kind of got a little bit of a crush on now, and never being quite knowing like where to look and where to find her. Like, where do I watch her content? Little do I know, yeah, she was originated in some Vocaloid software way back in the day. Yeah.
So to 16-year-old Courtney, Hatsune Miku only has, before this film, one other anime that she's tied to, despite being in so many games and, you know, so much merch. She's only in one other anime, which is also based on one of her games, and that came out in 2020, I believe. So, you know, this new film is only the second time that she has really been put on, you know, into an anime series or film. But also the concert. So the concerts are what I guess she's really known for outside of that. I'm planning on going with some friends in November. She's so cute, but the tickets were so expensive. It was like $200 for like a reserve. And I'm like, who are you paying? She's not real.
Yeah, the server cost, Courtney, the server cost and the hard drive space, it's not cheap.
I'm so excited, but my God, those tickets are expensive.
That's insane. I was about to say I'm going to try and strong arm our way into getting a few tickets. So I'll sort of talk to a few people in the background to see if there's anything we can do, because I'd like to circle back on this concert and maybe unpack it in a more formal capacity on the potty. So let's see if we can get some form of media credential to cover the Hatsune Miku concerts, because this would be my first concert of this ilk that I've ever been to. So I'm curious to see what it's all about, and if they can justify those very exuberant ticket prices.
Yeah. Otherwise, though, let's talk more about Sakamoto Days.
Yes, please.
Because before the official announcement of the anime adaptation, we discussed this on the podcast a while ago, but there were rumors that the series would be streamed on Netflix. And these statements were quickly retracted before we got any more information. All of the outlets and publications that were reporting on it, they were like, oh, it's been retracted. Like, it's not happening. Shortly afterwards, we got the announcement that the series was coming in 2025, but it's only just been revealed that Netflix will have the streaming rights for Sakamoto Days.
A little worrisome, still a little unsure, I think, collectively here on the podcast. And that is not only because, you know, Netflix's attachment to this, but also in regards to a global release and when streaming will actually begin, because Sakamoto Days anime will begin airing in Japan in January of 2025. So we don't have to wait too long now. What is it? It's August. So a little over 5 months away, and we get to see the greatness that is Sakamoto Days translate from panel to screen, because I'm so excited.
I honestly think, and I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I think that anime is going to be so much better than the manga. Like, the manga's already good, but I think that anime is just going to bring it up a notch, and it's going to be a huge IP. But in terms of Netflix, I am kind of in two minds about them having the streaming rights. They did a really good job with Delicious in Dungeon. And I'm so impressed. And some other series they've done great jobs with. But I think back to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean, and it was not good the way they released that. So I'm keeping my hopes up that they go kind of the same way that they did with the Delicious in Dungeon, with the weekly releases that are at the same time as Japan. Otherwise, I will be very sad.
Yeah, I think you're bang on. Like, yeah, it's worrisome as well from a bigger picture perspective with Netflix, where if the audience doesn't latch onto this early, there's a chance that this could be dropped like after one season. So that's one part that scares me, because Netflix be ruthless. Like, if something's not performing to their very high and probably unnecessary expectations, they're quick to cut bait very, very swiftly on IP that have massive Hollywood heavyweights attached to it and stuff. So I'm scared for Sakamoto in that regard. But I completely agree with you. I feel that based off how they handled Dungeon Meshi and also just the general hype around Sakamoto, that they will do this franchise justice. And I'm very excited to see. I feel you're going to be correct again as far as that weekly parallel drop in line with Japan. But I also feel bigger picture that this is going to end up being one of the big hits of 2025. And it's going to have that similar vibe, similar tone, and maybe similar global fandom and hysteria of like a Spy Family. It's got that sort of tone. It's got some violence mixed with the quirkiness, mixed with the heart, mixed with the family man mentality. There is actually just a family here by blood and not just a spy setup like in Spy Family, minus spoilers. But yeah, it's super fun. I've been really, really diving into the manga the last couple of weeks. I'm about halfway through it at the moment now, and it just gets better and better. And I agree with you. Like, the manga is fantastic storytelling. It's funny. It keeps the heart racing in moments, but then it also slows down for the silly, quirky, heartfelt moments. And seeing those panels translate to screen is going to be a thing of beauty. So yeah, I'm hyped as hell. And knowing that, yeah, it's only 5 months away, it's on my plan to watch list. It's on my early favorites list for 2025, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah, I believe in Netflix, and especially after going to Japan and checking out Japanese Netflix and how much anime they have on there. I think kind of slowly getting that translation and pulling anime into Netflix's medium. I think, fingers crossed, we kind of are able to grow that catalog and get more anime on the platform.
It's a monster, Courtney, and just knowing the amount of money they're throwing at some of these production houses to get the rights. Like, you're seeing, JJK on there. You're seeing like all the big Mappa titles, all the big global heavyweight hitters on Netflix, albeit a few months or maybe a few years after it landed its way on Crunchyroll initially. But yeah, it shows they're invested in growing that portfolio. And yeah, hopefully Sakamoto Days is a home run for Netflix and for viewers, because God, it's such a cool world and I love the characters. Something else that I love, Courtney, it was announced this past week via the official Undead Unluck website that the anime will be getting an hour-long special this coming summer. A key visual and teaser trailer also are released with the imagery of a hand holding a flaming sword in the snow. Ooh, ominous.
Spooky. The anime series first aired in October last year and went for 2 cours, lasting until March this year. The series focuses on the unlucky Fuko and her undead partner in crime, Andy, as they join the Union in an attempt to stop the world from being thrown into the apocalypse.
I've got to say a big hell yeah to this one. Undead Unluck, for me, was one of the biggest surprises of 2024. I felt no one was talking about it. No one out there was talking about it. I feel that I was early on this one. I stumbled across it. I jumped in. I was consuming it. We did a fantastic deep dive, myself and Zombies, on the More Than Hentai podcast. And even when that episode came out, I think I was the only podcast out there that talked about it, which was kind of cool. And there's a lot of people that checked it out and had some good feedback. But circling back to Undead Unluck specifically, I really enjoyed the crazy characters, the crazy abilities, the negator abilities that they have. And then an even crazier plot. Like, it is so out there what they throw on the screen or on the panel every other week. And I also love that we even got some Australian focus in an episode, and they blow up Ayers Rock, minus spoilers, which was a time in itself. But yeah, I feel that first season did drag a little bit. Like, it's funny where we say 12 episode seasons aren't long enough, and then 24 episodes in this regard is maybe a little too long, but the pacing was consistent. The first half, or the first core, was certainly the strongest, especially the opening. That song 01 is an absolute toe tapper, and I was so filthy when they shifted to a second opening track for core 2, because it's in one of my, it's a regular on my playlist consumption on Spotify still. But overall, really enjoyed it. I'm excited for more of this world. And I've got such a soft spot for Fuko. She's such a little sweetheart. I love her in her little beanie, and I love her, chalk and cheese dynamic with Andy, because they couldn't be more opposites, but then more alike at times. And it's just a fun, cool world. And I like the wordplay. Like, everybody's got an ability that ties into something. And, you know, it's clever. And I'm like, where are they going to go from here with this? Because the manga goes for a while. So I'm very curious to see what type of negator abilities are presented to us in this 1 hour banger that comes out later this year, did they say?
Yeah.
Yeah, in summer. Yeah.
I really wanted to enjoy Undead Unluck more than I did. When I first started watching it, I was like, I love this. I'm obsessed. Andy's such a hunk. Like, let's go. I love the premise. I think it's really interesting. But 2 cours was definitely too long. Like you said, the first 12 episodes were really, really strong. And then when it kept going, I was like, oh, like there's no, it kind of like built up this climax and then the climax like stayed, like it didn't dip, I feel, and it needed a little dip to keep me interested. Because I think that dynamic between Andy and Fuko is really important. And I think like there should be more exploration of their lives together and the mundane, I guess, to keep that high tension really interesting, because I think it kind of gets really high tension. It stays high tension for so long that it becomes dull, I guess, for me.
That's fair. I agree with you there. Like it was just a constant up without much major down or those quieter reflective moments. There wasn't a ton of those. There was a couple, but not enough, I think, to give us a bit of rest and respite between those crazy big action set pieces, because there are many.
Yeah, but I think now that the season has ended, I'm hoping that this kind of 1 hour special will kind of, like, we've had a bit of a break. The 1 hour special will come and hopefully that kind of reignites the flame, I guess. The flaming sword.
Oh, God, you're good. That wasn't scripted either, listeners. That was just off the cuff.
Though I do want to mention, you brought up the names, how they're really clever. Fuko's name actually means luck child, so it's cute. A lot of like wordplay, even in the Japanese, is really good. So,
I like that because me being barely able to speak English had no idea of the meaning of Fuko, so that's cool. I love wordplay. I love puns. I love metaphors. The more of that, the better in anything in life. And I like Undead Unluck. And if you haven't checked it out, give it a peek, because Australian listeners or viewers of this podcast, it is on Disney Plus. So most people have Disney Plus out there. And if you're disappointed with things like The Acolyte, you'll feel a lot better checking out Undead Unluck.
It's true. There's also Disney Plus actually has some bangers on there. They have Tokyo Revengers, which I'm obsessed with.
They got Bleach, all of Bleach.
Right? Like, they just have the most random stuff. And I'm like, okay, Disney Plus.
Summertime Rendering, which is one of the best new anime of the last couple of years, is on there. It is fantastic. I think it is only a 12-episode run, and it's a perfectly paced story with so much emotion, and it's gorgeous.
But let's get into some of those rapid fire news releases. So we have On the Horizon, presented by Otaku Box, the only anime box with scale figures, voting, and ecchi.
Courtney, they sent me another box. I'm overwhelmed. I haven't even done an unboxing of the first one yet, and I've got more Otaku Box looking at me just off camera here.
Oh my gosh.
I will shoot that over the weekend and share it out there, because there is many a product in there, and then I will send some of this stuff up your way, because your walls are looking bare, Courtney. We need to fill it out with some ecchi.
And more boobs.
More boobs, listeners and viewers. More boobs in all aspects of life. But a couple of quick headlines as far as some rapid fire news that we didn't get to deep dive in today. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun anime's second season is set to debut in January of 2025.
I'm so excited.
Such a fun watch. Such a quirky, silly, absurd premise, but I am all about it.
After that as well, we also have the Mononoke film. It's going to have 3 films, this project. So they announced 1 and then they're like, wait, no, it's actually a whole project. There's going to be 3 films. The second film is going to open next year, and I am so excited to see what this whimsical seller does next.
I am also excited. Something else that excites me, not only just about the Mononoke film project, but also Cyberpunk Edgerunners creator has launched a new manga over on Shonen Jump Plus. It is called I don't know if you call it no name or no slash name. I don't really know when they get a bit funky and creative with the wordplay with some of these titles, but no name. It is launching on January the 26th of 2025. And it's a nice, fun one-shot story, which is described as a dark action mystery set in Northern Europe where supernatural powers are attributed through a person's name given to everyone by the government. A man fighting with wolf companions and a werebear girl investigate a missing child's case for the government-run naming agency. So it sounds absolutely absurd in all the right ways. But yeah, No Name making its way onto Shonen Jump Plus and Manga Plus on the 26th of January of next year.
So the interesting thing about No Name that I wanted to quickly bring up is that it's actually not written by anyone from Japan. No Japanese hands have touched this manga, and I think it looks great, but I am scared because the last time we got a non-Japanese anime, it went really, really poorly. I think it was Reflection. And it was by The Reflection by Stan Lee, co-written by Stan Lee, and it was not good. Sorry, Stan.
Rest in peace, Stan.
Yeah, rest in peace, Stan. And also your anime was bad.
Yeah, well, hopefully No Name has a lot more Excelsior than a lot more negative-based Marvel puns that I cannot think of right now. But this looks fun, and yeah, the fact that Raphael Jakai, who was the executive producer and showrunner and creator of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, it feels like it could bode well to be something pretty good.
The last piece of quick news we have is Pop Team Epic is collaborating with German liquor producer Kleiner Feigling on a new advertisement, and I don't know if you've watched these ads or if you've seen Pop Team Epic, but they are hilarious. It's 2 ads done in the classic Pop Team Epic style, one voiced by female voice actors and the other voiced by male voice actors. And in the first one, you can see Popuko and Pipimi in the bar, and Pipimi hands Popuko a bottle of Kleiner Feigling, which are these like mini vodka like shot things, I guess. And then in the second ad, Popuko has a gunshot wound and PPB walks up and is like, hey, what's going on? And like lights a cigarette for Popuko and then gives her some Kleiner Feigling because that solves all your problems, apparently. Drink responsibly.
Yeah, always and forever, listeners and viewers. Yeah, drink responsibly. But yeah, this is an interesting collaboration / crossover here. I did not expect something like this. I've dabbled a little bit with Pop Team Epic just due to a friend of mine, Alya, who obsesses over this world. So I've sort of jumped in here and there and really enjoyed my time with it. I watched the trailers for this and yeah, it looks absolutely absurd and fun and did make me want to drink a little bit of this sort of German liquor. But yeah, if you want to get on that, you can. They've got a little pack which has got five flavors in a set of 10 mini bottles. So just yeah, like Courtney said, drink responsibly if you are going to get yourself the Kleiner Feigling box set collaboration with Pop Team Epic because yeah, the world needs more crazy, zany crossovers. And we still need to talk a little bit more Love Honey about our ideas because I think there's money to be made there.
Love Honey, call us.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We were talking on Instagram for a little while there, but I need to probably circle back to that. As far as the major releases, My Hero Academia, Season 7, Episode 150, which was delayed last week, will be dropping on August the 3rd. We are recording on August the 3rd right now, but it has not yet hit the local airwaves here in the AU, so it'll be sometime later today, but by the time this episode comes out, it will be available over on Crunchyroll. And then also on August the 4th, One Piece Season 14, Episode 1114 will be available to check out as well. So there's the On the Horizon updates presented by our friends over at Otaku Box. But Courtney, I wanted to know, what have you been watching this week?
Oh boy, my favorite part of the potty. So I caught up on Kurishitsuji or Black Butler, the public school arc. I finished it up over the weekend and I loved every second of it. Black Butler was actually my first proper anime that I watched almost 15 years ago, like 12, 13 years ago. And I love that it's still going, and it's still so high quality. There were some hilariously raunchy scenes that reminded me how silly this show can be. I just love seeing Ciel and Sebastian get up to literally everything under the sun. Like, the last film we got was them at the circus. There was like a circus arc. And now we have their public school arc where they go into a public school to investigate some missing persons reports because the Queen knows one of the missing people. So that was really great. I've also been catching up on Windbreaker. I didn't drop it. I started watching it. I got like 2 or 3 episodes in, and then I like forgot it. I guess I got married, you know?
Yeah. Okay, that's a valid excuse. That's a valid reason.
So I was catching up on that too, and I forgot how gorgeous the animation in this is. Like, the scene where we kind of first see Suo fighting on the stage for the first time, like, I could not look away. That was so well animated. I think some of the best animation I've ever seen. Like, and for such a small scene of the episode too. But I'm glad that I'm catching up with it again because it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, and Sugoi Squad Suo is still best boy for anyone out there unsure. He is the king.
He's so hot.
He's the best.
I'll say it. You don't have to. I'll say whoever's hot, and he is hot.
Yeah, rocking an eye patch, some funky earrings. Sometimes he fights with his hands in his pockets because he's just a badass, and he's just a cool, nice dude that cares about his friends.
And then the other thing I watched, I caught up on Alya episode 5, and it's so funny. It's just hilarious. The scene at the beginning of the episode where he walks in on his sister in the bathroom, and he's like, "You did this on purpose," and she's like, "It's so good." And then she like looks at the camera, and he's like, what are you looking at? And she's like, the camera that dummies like you can't see. And he's like, what? And it's so good. I love fourth wall breaking in anime because it almost never happens. So that was a really, really good nod there. What about you? It's
so good. Like, yeah, jumping straight off the back of that, episode 5, season 1 of Alya just maintains that high level of quality in the writing, in the jokes. Like, yeah, it feels like it was getting funnier as these episodes go on. And Suo, yeah, the pervy secret sister of Kuze, like, I love her. She's a great little foil that sort of confuses everything, even though Kuze could get rid of this confusion and like instantly by saying, "Oh yeah, that's just my sister. I went to live with my dad when my parents separated. She stayed with her mum, but we're brother and sister, so don't worry. There's nothing weird and pervy going on, even though my sister would like weird and pervy things to be going on all the time because we've got a little bit of that jokey incest wrinkling its way through. Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, but it's so good. And I love that it can go from, pervy, funny stuff like that to open, honest, heartfelt moments where you're seeing Alya dealing with her insecurities and her nervousness. And even though she is stoic and smart and, the belle of the ball, and her eyes are some of the most beautifully animated eyes in anime, full stop. Like, she is gorgeous and she's a great character. And I'm loving watching this relationship develop between her and Kuze. And yeah, it's still, for me, one of my favorite new drops of the summer season. A couple other ones. I went and checked out Mayanaka Punch. I have watched a few episodes of that now, and I'm very happy for the recommendation, Courtney. I love the art style. I love the character models. I love the pastel color palette that they use throughout. It is really gorgeous and really distinctive amongst all the other anime we're sort of watching at the moment. Love Masaki, love Live, love their dynamic as far as she just wants to become a famous, content creator with 1 million subs, and Live just wants to drain her dry of all her blood. And outside of the absurdity of the monsters and all this stuff that you've been talking about the last few weeks, I do like that there is this very accurate social commentary on content creation and fandom in parentheses. And I think Mayanaka Punch, as well as VTuber Legend, they do it really well. They show the like totally uncalled for, unjustified comments that get thrown out to these content creators. Like the shit that these people have to deal with on the daily is disgusting. And the fact that it's just thrown in there for the world to see, I think it's good because it's real and it's refreshing. And even though they are both funny and silly, it does really nail that sort of dark, uncomfortable underbelly of being in the social spotlight. But overall, really enjoyed it. Going to keep watching it. And really fun opening and ending as well. Like 2 banger tracks, really gorgeous animated OP and EDs. And yeah, my Knuckle Punch, Courtney, double thumbs up from you on the reco. Like it's a good time.
I will add though, your recommendation of VTuber Legend, I also caught up as per our promise from last episode. Brilliant. You're on the money.
Stro Zero. Oh my God. It just gets better and better. Like, Courtney messaged me about the latest episode because we got a, minor spoilers, a Rias Gremory nod in the latest episode, which had me cackling. But the last one I wanted to shout out as well, I jumped in and checked out Wistoria Wand and Sword. It is another fantasy-based anime where we see magic is king, and yet poor old Will can't even cast a fishing rod, let alone a spell. So it's of that ilk of a Mashle, of a Black Clover, where the lead protag is magic deficient, but he finds a way to surpass that lack of magic and become the strongest, because if we find out that he's a badass swordsman and can sort of kick ass that way instead. So it's very much of those veins of a Black Clover, of a Mashle, but it's a bit more straight-laced, where, you know, we see Mashle and co lean into the craziness and the funniness and the whimsicalness. This is a little bit more straightly 180, but it is an enjoyable watch. It's gorgeously animated, and I'm curious to see what happens here. And I like that Will, the primary driver of this anime, is to ascend this tower to be with his beloved. So I like that we've got some stakes, we've got some romance, and this was actually written by the same author that did Dan Marshy, or, you know, Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, which is one of my favorite anime / manga out there. So it's got synergies between those two worlds as far as the pacing, the character development, and the combat is sick. Like, it is really fun. We've got a dub dropping as well. It's a few episodes back on the dub, but if you wanted to wait to get that English translation, you can do so as well. But yeah, Wisteria Wand and Sword. Not many people, I feel, are talking about it on the socials, but it's worth chucking on the radar because it's been enjoyable so far. The first few episodes have been a delight, and not only visually, but also from a narrative standpoint. So that's what I've been checking out this week, Courtney.
Awesome. It also says here that you've been reading a certain manga, and I love this series, but I want you to talk about it.
Yes. Luckily you said that, because I actually had it in my notes last week and forgot to talk about it again then too. So thank you for bringing this up. But over the last couple of weeks, I decided to work my way through Hell's Paradise, which we've got a 12-episode run available not only on Crunchyroll, but also Netflix, done by Mappa. Gorgeous from an aesthetic standpoint, gorgeous from like a horrific standpoint as well. Like, very nightmare fuel-y in all the right ways. But I worked through all 120 chapters of the manga, got to the end, worked out what happened with Gabimaru and his journey of being the Hollow and the most evil badass shinobi the world has ever seen. But holy moly, what a story. Like, it goes some places and it does not hold back. And seeing what happens in these panels, I do hope that we do get continuation of the anime, because it was one of the prettiest anime, I feel, of last year. It was a little divisive though. Like, you and I both liked it, but there were some people that thought it was a little mid and the pacing was a little meh, but I thought it was a good time. Really great opener again, like such a banger. And yeah, that animation style, not only to the standard character models, but the monster characters, and then the fight scenes. They did rob us of a few fight scenes early, which sort of annoyed me and annoyed people, rightfully so. But yeah, the manga, holy moly, it is a great story. And if we're gonna score it, I scored it an 8 out of 10 on my anime list. So it's worth a read if you like this world. It's not perfect or a world beater, but it's really enjoyable, horrific, funny, tonally aware, and the assortment of characters you meet along the way are very memorable.
I'm just so obsessed with Hell's Paradise. I haven't read the manga. I've only seen the first season. That we are getting a second season, definitely. We just don't know when. But I love Hell's Paradise. The opening is so good. The characters are so good. I love Asayamon Sagiri, the main other protagonist. She's insanely cool, like just really cool premise and really cool art style, and just it's slick. It feels slick, and Gabimaru is such a cool guy. Everyone's so cool in this show.
He's a cool guy. I feel most of the time if a character has silver or white hair, they're usually just cool.
Oh yeah.
And that is evident. And I like that you mentioned the Asaman because seeing the way that world that they live in develops and changes and adapts to just the craziness that is happening on this island is really cool. And yeah, I like that the quality of the manga panel from an art perspective translate to screen. Like you look at something like Jujutsu Kaisen, the anime is gorgeous, but a lot of the time those manga panels are a goddamn mess. There is so much shit going on in those panels that you can't even understand sometimes what's happening. And then it's so text heavy sometimes too, the manga. But yeah, Hell's Paradise, not only the manga, but the anime, really easy to watch, really easy to read and understand and just appreciate what's going on panel to panel or scene to scene. So yeah, Hell's Paradise, check it out on Netflix or Crunchyroll, or check it out on Shonen Jump or wherever you get your manga. All right, Courtney, let's jump into the closing words, final thoughts, and things like that here on episode 11 of More Than Headlines. First and foremost, we just wanted to send out a big congratulations to the winner of our Audio Technica X MTH giveaway, Mr. Jareth Ho!
Omedetou!
I will be in touch. I've slid into your DMs already to get your address details to send you everything. So hopefully you'll get a nice care package from us and AT on the way in the coming days. Courtney, outside of that, is there anything you wanted to shout out or mention before we close down this studio for another week?
I just think that if I were a ninja, I would want to be like Gabimaru and not like Naruto. That's all.
That's fair. That's fair. Because I care very little about Naruto, where I care a lot about Gabimaru. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. I'd also like to be like a ninja, or if we can sort of tread the line to samurai, like give me some of the characters from like Samurai Champloo, because I think that world is still one of my favorites in all of anime. So yeah, a bit of that, or maybe Jubei from Ninja Scroll, which is also one of my favorites.
Yeah. I feel like I would look cool as a samurai, but be completely useless.
You'd have your place. I reckon you'd have some cheeky skills. Maybe you're like poison-based, something like that. Very unassuming, but you can kill people with like a little drop or a little bit of powder or something like that. So that could be your thing. But we also, by the time episode 12 rolls around, we'll have some fantastic new merchandise in the web store over at morethanhentai.life. Should have that finished up in the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll chuck that on the socials because the concepts that we've been cooking are fantastic and tasty and all the right things. But while you're over there at morethanhentai.life, join the Sugoi Squad. The low price of $1 per month. You can get exclusive access to perk content, giveaway, and more that you will not find anywhere else on planet Earth. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe to this podcast and all the other podcasts you listen to on the regular. Those ratings and reviews take no time, cost no money, and mean the world to little guys like ourselves. And if you are checking us out on TikTok and YouTube, first and foremost, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and throw us a cheeky comment, because those actions help keep us in the algorithm. But follow us on them socials. You can follow me at More Than Senpai, and you can follow Courtney at Cottony_san. I just saw that updated in real time on the docket here because we are goddamn professionals. But listeners, viewers, otakus, and members of the Sugoi Squad, whether you're anime subbed, dubbed, or still yet to come, enjoy yourself, and much love to all the gorgeous waifus and husbandos out there. Goodbye.
Mata ne.